If skincare feels confusing, it's probably because the market wants it to. And when you already feel overwhelmed, it is so easy to waste time and money and mental energy on things that barely move the needle. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through skincare that actually works in priority order, plus how to support your skin from the inside out. And stay until the end because I'll show you how to put this all into a simple routine that you can actually stick to. Let's start with the biggest needle mover of all, which is sunscreen. If your goal is younger looking skin over time, sunscreen is not optional, it is the foundation. This is the most evidence-based step we have for preventing premature skin aging. Solid research shows that regular sunscreen is associated with fewer fine lines, fewer wrinkles, less uneven hyperpigmentation, and other signs of sun damage. Now, most people know sunscreen helps to prevent sun damage, but regular use will also help your skin improve its current baseline because you're no longer topping up the damage every day. And that mindset shift matters because sunscreen stops feeling like a chore and it starts feeling like an investment in your skin. So the practical takeaway here is simple. Choose a sunscreen that you can actually use consistently. This matters way more than finding the theoretically perfect formula. I personally tend to prefer mineral sunscreens because I find that they're much easier on sensitive skin. But really, the best sunscreen is the one that you're happy to apply every morning. And yes, even in winter, even when it's cloudy, even when you're just popping out, UV exposure is cumulative and your skin responds to what you do most of the time, not what you do perfectly. Now, because we do things slightly differently around here, let's also talk about what you can do from the inside out too. Certain foods can provide an extra degree of protection against UV related damage. Not enough to replace sunscreen, but enough to be worth knowing about. Foods like tomatoes and green tea and dark chocolate contain special compounds that appear to improve your skin's resilience to sun exposure. So no, this is not eat chocolate instead of sunscreen, sadly, but it is one more reason to build those foods in regularly. So, if you're overwhelmed and wondering where to start, wear your sunscreen every day and support your skin further with foods like tomatoes and green tea and dark chocolate. If sunscreens protect the future of your skin, retinoids are what most directly improve what is already there. Retinoids are vitamin A derivatives, and they have some of the best evidence we have for improving existing signs of skin aging, particularly fine lines, wrinkles, and texture. And they also have good evidence for acne. So if sunscreen is your prevention step, retinoids are your correction step. Now, this is where many people get tripped up because the internet seems to present retinoids in a very all or nothing way. Either everyone should be on tretinoin immediately, or retinoids are too irritating and not worth the hassle. The truth is a lot more nuanced. There is a spectrum of retinoids, from the more gentle retinol esters and retinol all the way up to prescription strength retinoic acid or tretinoin. In general, the stronger they are, the faster they work, but also the more irritating they can be. And that matters because the best retinoid is not just the strongest one on paper. It's the one you can use consistently without making your skin miserable. If your skin tolerates tretinoin well, excellent, it's a very powerful tool. But if it leaves you red, stingy, flaky, and constantly having to back off, then stronger is not better for you. A lot of people do very well with retinaldehyde or retinal. It hits a very useful middle ground. It's more effective than basic retinol, but much better tolerated than prescription retinoic acid. And for many people, that is the sweet spot. So the practical advice here is start lower than your ego wants you to, go slower than the internet tells you to, and pay attention to what your skin is actually saying. Apply it at night and start a few days a week as needed and build up gradually. Always pair it with sunscreen the next day because there is no point in correcting your skin in the evening if you're just going to leave it unprotected in the day. And again, there is an inside out angle here too. Vitamin A is not just something you can apply topically, it is a nutrient that your body actually needs. Some research suggests that people with acne tend to have a lower vitamin A status, and vitamin A is associated with having more acidic skin too, which is a very good thing. Useful forms of preformed vitamin A include oily fish, eggs, dairy and liver, I tend to think of these as old-fashioned breakfast foods. Now, orange and yellow vegetables do contain beta-carotene, which some people convert well into vitamin A and others not so effectively. So if you're trying to support your skin overall, think topically and nutritionally. A well-tolerated retinoid at night and regular vitamin A containing foods in your diet too. Now we move on to the next tier. Vitamin C is useful, but it's not on the same level as sunscreen and retinoids. But vitamin C can be a very worthwhile add-on, especially if your goals are brighter skin, more even pigmentation, and greater antioxidant support alongside your sunscreen. The most evidence-based form is L-ascorbic acid. This is best supported for brightening and for antioxidant protection, but also the most likely to irritate sensitive skin. Other forms of vitamin C, like sodium ascorbyl phosphate, magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, THG ascorbate, generally have less evidence behind them, but they tend to be gentler and more stable. So the question is not which vitamin C is best, it's which one makes the most sense for my skin and my goal. If you are mainly dealing with pigmentation and you tolerate actives well, L-ascorbic acid may be worth trying. If you have acne-prone skin, sodium ascorbyl phosphate is an interesting one. And if your skin is sensitive and you still want a vitamin C serum, something like magnesium ascorbyl phosphate or THG ascorbate could be a much more sensible place to start. And that is the broader pattern I want you to notice in this video. Stop trying to choose the best product in the abstract. Choose the one that is most suited to your skin, your goal, and your tolerance. Now, vitamin C is best used in the morning under sunscreen, where it can contribute antioxidant support throughout the day. And of course, vitamin C also comes in food. In fact, eating colourful fruits and vegetables remains one of the best ways to support your skin. And eating more vitamin C is associated with looking younger too. So fill half your plate with colourful fruits and vegetables. Right, for brighter, more even-toned skin, vitamin C can be a really useful add-on. Just don't let it distract you from the heavy hitters. Now we come on to one of the least glamorous and most misunderstood skincare categories, and that's moisturiser. Moisturiser does work, but in a much narrower way than marketing suggests. It is not your big anti-aging step. It's not your main acne treatment. It's not how you are going to tackle your pigmentation. What it is very good at is supporting hydration, reducing dryness and tightness, reinforcing barrier function, and just helping the skin to feel more comfortable and more resilient. So think of moisturiser like the support step, not the transformation step. It's the scaffolding, not the new roof. And not everyone needs the same amount of moisturiser all the time. Your needs depend on your skin type, your environment, the season, and what else you're using. If your skin feels tight or flaky or irritated, or if you're using active skincare, moisturiser probably belongs in your routine. But if your skin is naturally very oily and you live in a very humid place, you might not need much moisturiser at all. When it comes to choosing one, I tend to keep it very simple. First, fragrance-free if possible. Fragrance is one of the easiest ways to turn a basic moisturiser into an irritant. And second, choose the texture based on your skin's needs. A cream is often a good default for the face. If your skin is very dry or compromised, an ointment might provide better protection. And lotions can work very well for the body and for oilier skin types. And if the moisturiser happens to contain ingredients like ceramides, lovely, but I would see that as a bonus rather than the main event. The best moisturiser is simply the one that your skin finds comfortable enough to use regularly. Now, in the morning, use it before sunscreen if you need it, and in the evening, use it after a retinoid if you're using one. And from the inside, healthy fats matter here. The skin barrier depends on lipids. So if your diet is chronically very low in healthy fats, you're doing your skin no favours. Think oily fish, nuts, seeds, avocado, extra virgin olive oil. And not because just eating one avocado is going to make your skin glow overnight, but because consistently eating healthy fats helps to support skin structure and skin function. So use a moisturiser as needed and eat your healthy fats. And finally, cleanser. Now this is the step that many people accidentally get wrong. Cleanser is not there to transform your skin. It is there to remove what needs removing without causing trouble. But many people have been taught the opposite. They think cleansing should feel powerful and squeaky clean and maybe even a bit punishing. And that mindset can be a real problem, especially if you already have sensitive or acne prone or barrier impaired skin. A good cleanser should be gentle, it should be non-stripping, and it should be pH balanced. That means it should match your natural skin pH, which is acidic. I personally prefer non-foaming cleansers, and I often prefer oil-based cleansers for the evening because they're really good at removing sunscreen and makeup and the day's dirt without stripping the skin. But the exact format actually matters less than the principle, which is to clean your skin without roughing it up. There is also very little reason or evidence for people to be cleansing their skin aggressively twice a day. For most people, a splash of lukewarm water is perfectly adequate for the morning. Then in the evening, do your gentle but thorough cleanse to remove that sunscreen and makeup and dirt. And yes, there is an inside out angle here too. If skin clarity is one of your main concerns, fibre matters. Fibre supports your gut microbiota, and emerging research suggests that the compounds produced when those gut bugs ferment fibre may have relevance for skin health too. So, while cleanser is doing your external housekeeping, foods like beans and legumes, nuts, seeds, oats, other whole grains, they're doing something very useful internally as well. So, let's put this all together. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, this is the part I really want you to hear. You do not need an elaborate skincare routine. Quite the opposite. So, a very simple morning routine might look like this. Splash with lukewarm water. Apply vitamin C if you want to and if it suits your goals. Apply moisturiser if you need it. Then sunscreen. And in the evening, cleanse gently. Apply a retinoid as appropriate for your skin. And then moisturiser. That's it. But this is where I think a lot of people get lost. They keep adding more because they think more products mean better results. But in reality, after this routine, the returns start diminishing very quickly. So before you buy the latest exosome cream or peptide serum or whatever beauty trend has just floated over from Seoul or TikTok or somewhere else on the internet, ask yourself, have I actually nailed the basics first? Because if not, that is where your effort belongs. Your skin cannot read marketing, but it can respond to evidence-based, consistent care. And that really is the heart of this video. Good skin is less about finding some magical products and more about doing a few sensible things consistently while also supporting your skin from the inside out. So if you're confused, start there. Start with sunscreen. Consider a retinoid. Add vitamin C if your goals call for it. Use a moisturiser for support, not miracles. And choose a cleanser that does no harm. And keep the routine simple enough to sustain. And if you want to know how to support your skin from the inside out without overcomplicating that either, watch this next video where I go through 5 simple nutrition principles that genuinely make a difference. I hope to see you there, and thank you for watching until the very end.